She thought she could defeat him, but he outsmarted her at every turn. Commander Zara. Veltis stood before the massive holographic display showing Earth's blue marble spinning slowly in the void. Her crimson eyes narrowed as she studied the primitive planet that had somehow managed to destroy 3 of her battle fleets. The Krillian Empire had conquered hundreds of worlds across the galaxy, but this small blue rock continued to resist with impossible tenacity. The human named Jake Thompson had become her personal nemesis over the past year. Every strategic move she made, he somehow anticipated. Every trap she set, he avoided with frustrating ease. The other Krillian commanders whispered that she was losing her edge, but Zara knew better. This human was different from any opponent she had faced in her 2 centuries of military service. Her long silver hair caught the light from the tactical displays as she turned to address her second-in-command. Captain Thresh, your analysis of the human fleet movements. Thresh's scaled face showed uncertainty. Commander, their ships should not be able to outmaneuver our vessels. Their technology is centuries behind ours, yet they continue to win battles through tactics. We cannot predict. Zara had risen through the ranks of the Krillian military by being ruthless and calculating. Her people were naturally stronger, faster, and more intelligent than most species they encountered. The humans should have been easy prey when the invasion began, 6 months ago. Instead, they had proven to be the most challenging enemy the Empire had ever faced. The door to the command center slid open with a soft hiss. Admiral Korath entered, his presence commanding immediate attention from everyone on the bridge. His forearms were crossed behind his back, a sign of deep displeasure. Commander Veltis explained to me how a primitive species continues to humiliate our forces. Zara kept her voice steady, despite the threat she heard in his tone. Admiral, the humans possess an unpredictable nature that defies conventional military wisdom. They sacrifice themselves for their comrades in ways that seem illogical, yet it makes their forces incredibly resilient. Their leader, Jake Thompson, appears to think several moves ahead of our standard battle doctrine. Korath's eyes blazed with anger. Standard doctrine has conquered most of the known galaxy, Commander. Perhaps the problem lies not with our tactics, but with their execution. Zara felt a chill run down her spine. The Admiral was known for replacing commanders who failed him in permanent ways. She pulled up a holographic map of the Sol system, highlighting recent battle sites. Admiral, if I may demonstrate the pattern of human behavior. Here, at the Mars orbital stations, they sacrificed half their fleet to destroy our supply convoy. At Jupiter, they used their own ships as kinetic weapons against our dreadnoughts. These actions seem wasteful, but they achieve strategic objectives we did not anticipate. The human tactics were indeed puzzling to Zara's analytical mind. Krillians valued individual survival and logical decision-making. The humans threw themselves into hopeless situations and somehow turned defeat into victory. Their emotional responses should have been a weakness, but Jake Thompson had weaponized them into a strength. Admiral, I request permission to face Jake Thompson in single combat. Our intelligence suggests he leads their fleet personally. If I can eliminate him, their resistance will crumble without their primary strategist. Korath considered this proposal, his expression unreadable. You believe you can succeed where our fleets have failed? Zara straightened her shoulders, drawing herself to her full 7-foot height. I have studied his patterns, Admiral. Every commander has weaknesses, and I have identified his. Jake Thompson cares too much about protecting human civilian populations. This emotional attachment will be his downfall. The Admiral granted her request with one condition. She would have only her personal ship and a small escort. If she failed, the Empire would glass Earth from orbit and move on to easier conquests. Zara accepted these terms, confident in her abilities. She had never lost a personal duel and did not intend to start with a human. Her ship, the Shadow of Kiros, was a masterpiece of Krillian engineering, equipped with cloaking technology, adaptive shields, and weapons that could crack planetary crusts. Zara felt certain that her technological superiority would overcome any human cleverness Jake Thompson might possess. The journey to Earth took 3 days, during which Zara studied every piece of intelligence about her opponent. Jake Thompson was 32, Years old, a former engineer who had risen to command Earth's defense forces through a combination of tactical brilliance and inspirational leadership. His psychological profile suggested he was driven by a need to protect others, particularly those weaker than himself. Zara found this emotional weakness pathetic. In Krillian culture, the strong dominated the weak and survival belonged to the most capable. The human concept of self-sacrifice for others seemed like evolutionary madness. Yet somehow, this madness had stopped the greatest military force in the galaxy. Upon reaching Earth's outer system, Zara transmitted a challenge directly to Jake Thompson's flagship. She demanded single combat winner take all. If she won, the humans would surrender. Unconditionally, if she lost, the Krillian Empire would withdraw from human space. The response came quickly. Jake Thompson accepted her challenge. The meeting took place in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter neutral ground where both ships could maneuver freely. Zara's vessel emerged from cloak, revealing its sleek predatory design. Jake's ship was a converted mining vessel, ugly but functional. The size difference was laughable. The shadow of Kyros outmassed the human ship 10-1. Greetings. Commander Velthus. Jake's voice came through the communication channel, relaxed, almost friendly. I have to admit, I am honored that the Empire's most decorated commander came to face me personally. Zara was surprised by his calm demeanor. Most opponents showed fear when confronting her. The feeling is not mutual, human. Your species has proven more troublesome than anticipated. But this ends today. I will give you one final chance to surrender and spare your people unnecessary suffering. Jake's response was a low chuckle. Commander, with all due respect, I think you might be in for a surprise. The battle began immediately. Zara launched a barrage of plasma torpedoes that should have vaporized the human ship. Instead, Jake's vessel danced between the incoming fire with impossible precision. His engines flared as he dove toward a cluster of asteroids, using them for cover. Zara pursued, confident that her superior firepower would end this quickly. Jake led her deeper into the asteroid field, weaving between massive rocks with reckless abandon. Zara followed easily, her ship's superior maneuverability, allowing her to maintain pursuit. This human was good, but he was only delaying the inevitable. Her weapon systems locked onto his ship multiple times, but each shot was blocked by conveniently placed asteroids. After 20 minutes of chase, Jake's ship suddenly stopped moving and powered down completely. Zara approached, cautiously scanning for traps. Her sensors showed the human vessel was genuinely disabled, its engines offline and weapon systems dark. She opened a communication channel. Surrender now, and I will make your death quick. Instead of Jake's voice, she heard a recorded message playing on repeat. This is Admiral Jake Thompson, of Earth Defense Command. To whoever receives this message, know that humanity will never surrender. We will fight until our last breath and beyond. The recording was clearly a distraction, but Zara could not locate Jake's actual position. Her sensors suddenly detected massive movement throughout the asteroid field. Dozens of rocks were shifting position, revealing hidden human ships that had been camouflaged as debris. Jake had led her into a trap, using himself as bait. The asteroids themselves had been hollowed out and converted into weapons platforms. The attack came from every direction. Human fighters swarmed around her ship, firing kinetic rounds and primitive missiles that should not have penetrated her shields. But the humans had studied Krillian technology and found its weaknesses. Coordinated impacts at specific frequencies caused her shield generators to overload. Zara fired everything she had, destroying several human vessels, but more kept coming. The fighters were piloted, with suicidal courage, ramming her ship when their weapons ran dry. Each impact weakened her defenses further. Jake's voice came through the chaos. Now you see what makes humanity dangerous, Commander. We do not fight for conquest or glory, we fight for each other. Her ship's main engine took a critical hit and began losing power. Zara realized with growing horror that she was going to lose. The technological superiority she had counted on meant nothing when facing an enemy willing to die for victory. She had underestimated not just Jake Thompson but the entire human species. In desperation, she activated her ship's self-destruct sequence. If she was going to die, she would take as many humans with her as possible. The explosion would destroy everything within 10 kilometers. Jake's voice reached her one final time. Commander Velthus, you fought with honor. Your sacrifice will be remembered. Zara's eyes widened as she realized Jake was not trying to escape. He was flying directly toward her ship, preparing to ram it at the moment of detonation. This human was going to die alongside her, not from fear or accident, but by choice. He was choosing to ensure her destruction at the cost of his own life. The moment before the explosion, Zara finally understood what made humans so dangerous. It was not their technology or their tactics, it was their willingness to pay any price for what they believed in. Jake Thompson had outmaneuvered her not